Alright, welcome back to another Embrace Destiny video. Kaz PhD reporting in, and today we are on the red planet of Mars to talk about patrols. Patrols are a special gameplay area in Destiny. Basically, every large playable space, the Moon, the Earth, Venus, Mars, they have an associated patrol area. This is a place where you can complete small tasks for the tower and the last city, explore the universe of Destiny, and even collect resources, such as I am right now. In the early part of the game, patrols have a lot of significant uses. They allow you to practice skills in an open format, learn the tactics of the different enemies, and explore the mechanics and the terrain of Destiny. For example, my girlfriend, who's been playing slowly through the story of Destiny, recently ran into a problem where the missions that she had before her were a little more challenging than she was ready for. I suggested that she switch up her gear, but I wanted her to have a little bit of practice using it rather than just immediately dying in the hard story missions. So she went on patrol in the Cosmodrome on Earth, and after a little while became more accustomed to her gear. So, today we're going to be talking about patrols, and as I said, one of the first uses of them is collecting resources. All weapons and armor in the game that can be upgraded require resources, such as the relic iron that I picked up. Presumably, these unique resources are the result of the terraforming and colonizing processes here. For example, in addition to collecting resources, you also do these little missions for the tower, such as scouting areas, assassinating key threats, and just pushing back the enemy. However, as you grow in level, the benefits of the patrols slowly disappear. This is my first time on a patrol in months, and as someone very interested in the space industry and exploration, someone really hopeful that humans get to Mars someday, I find it sadly amusing that I almost never come back to the red planet in Destiny. So let's get into that. What are the limits of patrols, and what am I hoping for in the next installment of this game, or this franchise? Depending on the rumor mill you subscribe to, Bungie is set to release Destiny 2 sometime this year, 2017, presumably in the fall. By the way, it's not officially called Destiny 2, it's just the sequel to Destiny. We don't know what it's going to be called yet. We don't know much. They've hinted at larger worlds, a more in-depth story, and just solid improvement over their current game. Now don't get me wrong, I love Destiny, and I've gotten my money's worth, having been following and playing the game for years. But there is so much potential and love here for the game that I am just really hoping for improvements going forward. So, first issue, back to resources. Once you get high enough in level, you can just buy the resources you need from the tower. It's only limited by in-game currency, which you earn by doing almost any activity. So I haven't had the need to patrol for resources in a very long time. Second, boring loops. As I said, the patrols are great. They are large expanses, open, allowing for exploration, and with some minor missions to keep it interesting. And the view, I mean, that's what I signed up for. However, patrols are all basically one big loop. There are a few side passages and such, but you can just hop on your Sparrow and ride around in a circle. In a way, this makes sense. Better to have a loop than dead ends in a video game. But it feels strange that the only part of a planet you're able to explore is this one confined loop. That leads to my next problem. Of this entire planet, I'm only able to land at one specific spot when I begin a patrol, where I did in the beginning. I guess the idea is that the enemy has entrenched themselves elsewhere, preventing your ship from even getting close, but when you have a story mission that starts on a planet, you start in different places, closer to your target. So there's a disconnect there. The next issue I have is one that is almost unavoidable in games like this, and that's the fact that you become too powerful to feel threatened or challenged here. The patrols are made for low-level players, and by this point, with my fully upgraded weapons and armor, almost nothing can stop me. Leading to my final issue with patrols. Don't worry, positivity's coming, just bear with me. My final issue is that story-wise, mechanically speaking, there is no point in doing patrols after a certain time. There's no great reward for doing them, and no consequence for not doing them. For example, currently I am basically a god compared to the minions running around the patrol. In fact, that's why so many of the enemies fire on you immediately, because we have these godlike powers and we can come back from the dead. So, with my godlike powers, I could kill every single monster on this planet by myself, no problem. Sure, they bring more ships or teleport back in, but I could push this off this planet. And does that make a difference? No, they just reset. On the other hand, if I ignore the planet completely, and even if all other players ignored Mars or wherever, there are no consequences. The aliens are just confined to this place. These issues don't really affect the game. Patrols are what they are, and there are plenty of other things to do for higher level players. However, I like the concept of patrols. I like going out and pushing back the darkness, and I like the connection between my character and the universe of Destiny. I'm just hoping for more of a connection, and for more reasons to do a patrol than collecting gear and resources. So let's be positive here, shall we? Let's talk about how Destiny could maybe fix these issues in their next installment.
Good job.
I'm going to point out that I'm not a game designer. I have no real idea of the difficulties or challenges behind any of the things that I suggest. Sometimes an idea is only good in theory. Sometimes balance becomes impossible with game changes. Also, Bungie has hinted at a few things, but so far we know very little. Finally, there is a great video by Destiny Guides over on YouTube concerning what Destiny could learn from Skyrim, and I suggest checking it out. I'll put a link below. I've never played Skyrim, but I have played Guild Wars 2, and here are some things I think Destiny could learn from that game to fix their patrols. Guild Wars 2 is a massive multiplayer online role-playing game which also has large open spaces where your character can complete quests and push back the enemy. However, some key features keeps those areas fresh and exciting even when you're higher level. How, you ask? Well, first is leveling. Each area in Guild Wars 2 has a certain assigned level, the level at which it's assumed you are when you travel to that region, or when you find it, discover it for the first time. Some more treacherous and dangerous places are obviously at a higher level, and starting areas are a lower level. When your characters enter an area, you immediately become only as powerful as you would be at that level. You don't lose your equipment or abilities, but you only deal as much and take as much damage as you did at that certain level. In this way, it doesn't matter if you're a god or a new player. You're all in an equal place to work together and push back the enemy. Sure, the godlike player has more abilities, but the fact that their extra experience grants extra options just makes sense to me. This leveling has the effect of making areas just as engaging, just as tough as they were before, but keeping the abilities means you can bypass challenges more easily if you want to. Technically, Destiny does this to an extent, but the skill level still seems rather low to me. I think you can see the benefits of having something like this in Destiny. Now, part of the game's core is about becoming this all-powerful guardian, but I think it would be nice if the monsters out there in the world were still at least slightly challenging later on. If not, then why haven't we pushed the darkness back and reclaimed the planet? The short answer is because it's not programmed into the game, but story-wise it's a bit odd. Next, Guild Wars 2 has waypoints. Basically, every area of every map has landmarks that players can discover. Once you discover them, you can then fast travel to them, arriving there instead of far away at the starting area of the map. This would be great in Destiny as it would A, give you landmarks that matter and are interesting, and B, allow faster access to different places. Again, it would make sense because you have a spaceship and you should be able to land on any part of the planet you choose. Next, contested territory. Now this is cool. So in Guild Wars 2, players can only fast travel to waypoints if they have physically discovered them, but also if the waypoint is not controlled by the enemy. Basically, if no one is around for a while, the enemy will move in, and players can no longer fast travel to this location. You can go to the next nearest waypoint, push the monsters back, and reclaim the landmark, and this would allow others to move into your location in the future. This would be absolutely amazing in Destiny. Think about it. First, doing patrols would matter, because if no one went to certain areas, then the enemy would move in. This not only limits you, but could even make the enemy more challenging at the areas that are left to your control. Here, there would be a consequence or a reward to patrols, and you could literally watch the war for Mars unfold. It inspires collaboration, working with other Guardians to clear a path, and connects you more to the community, because even if you never interact with others, you'll be thankful that someone else has cleared the path for you. And this would open up some other great opportunities. Opportunities I don't think will actually come to Destiny 2, but I would love to be proved wrong here. First, consider that this territory control would mean that the tower and humanity could push out. Maybe if certain areas are free of enemies long enough, other characters could come in. Vendors, members of the Vanguard, whatever. Guild Wars 2 has this, and I think it would mean more to see the people that you're protecting. Currently, we're told we're protecting the people of the last city, but we never see these people. And the only view of the city is an unchanging one. There are no stakes. It doesn't matter. Next, some bigger ideas. Imagine at the end of the month, Zavala, the Titan Vanguard leader in the tower, tells you that Mars is completely overrun. Guardians have not managed or bothered to stop enemy advancement, so the planet is inaccessible. You cannot land there. This could be an opportunity for a week-long event like the Iron Banner, where Guardians have to run the blockade to get to Mars, and establish a base to push back. We did it in the Taken King expansion, we can do it here. Maybe if certain areas are inaccessible, maybe Xur becomes unavailable, since we cannot get the things that he needs or avoid the alien threats. Xur is a character who appears once a week and sells rare items, and I think that if Mars and other planets were completely in enemy hands, it would make sense that Xur would not be around, and this is a compelling reason to do the patrols. Even if space battles or changing Xur's rotation are beyond what is feasible, having an entire planet blockaded could provide other options, such as having to do a small challenge to sneak onto the planet and clear waypoints. It would feel so amazing to know that you were the Guardian that opened up Mars or Venus or wherever. You would feel pretty great knowing that you are the reason that Xur was back, and others would vie for the chance to be that hero. You could be displayed on Bungie's website, or maybe even in the tower. A display somewhere showing this week's or this month's planetary Vanguard. I mean, that's what Vanguard means, right? Being the first to arrive, leading the way. Anyway, these are a lot of thoughts, and I'm not sure Bungie will hear them. But they've been doing an excellent job, and I am just hopeful that they keep listening as they make improvements in the future. What do you think? Feel free to drop some comments below. I'm open to criticism and any new ideas here. Do you feel patrols need to change, or are you happy as they are? What ideas do you have? Finally, I just want to thank you all for watching and following. I'm looking forward to making more videos soon. My birthday is coming up, and as a kind of gift to myself, my clan is going to be trying the King's Fall raid again. Last time we did it for about 4 or 5 hours. It was a great event, but we didn't make it through. So, Saturday, April 8th, starting at 12 noon Eastern, please come check that out. I'll be live streaming on Twitch, and the link will be below. Really hoping to get through it this time and beat the other raids before a possible Destiny installment comes out. Anyway, thank you again. I'm looking forward to the next video. I'll see you out there. Bye now.